loads of fun finding Jesus together. Do you remember last week we looked at jellyfish and how they flop around all like this because they don't have backbones. And not having a backbone can make it hard to do what is right. That's what we looked at. God wants us to do the right thing. But this week we're going to look at sea turtles. And mummy sea turtles do a brilliant thing. When they're ready to lay their eggs for all their little babies, they'll crawl up the beach pretty slow, because turtles can be slow, can't they? And they'll dig a hole in the sand and they'll lay their eggs in this hole they've dug. Then they'll put the sand back on top, and if there's any grass around, they'll pop that on just to try and disguise that they've been digging there. And that will protect their babies until they're hatched, because the mummy turtles will do what they can to protect their little ones. And that's what we're looking at this week. God will protect me. And of course, he's going to protect you too. We're going to have fun this morning, because right now we've got a game with Keith. Have fun, kiddies.
There they are. These are my lovely volunteers. Okay, here's how we're going to play the game. We're going to play some music, and when the music plays, you dance. You can dance however you want. Dance around, jump, do whatever you want. And when the music stops, what do you have to do?
Freeze.
Freeze like a statue. Okay. If you move when the music stops, you have to go and sit down. But there's a special little twist. One of you, who we're going to choose in a minute, is our special protector. You can choose to protect someone so they don't have to go and sit down. Would you like to do that, Evie? So if Evie puts her hand on your shoulder, you are safe and you don't have to sit down. But when you do sit down, you come over here and maybe we'll get some treats for you, okay?
Will I still be able to play?
You can still play as much as you want. Is everyone ready?
He's the one who puts the moon in the sky. He's the one who hung the stars.
This way, everyone freeze. Does anyone move? Evie, is anyone you want to save? Just to be safe, you go and put your hand on them to keep them safe. You're protecting them, well done. Okay, let's say that Theo moves. So Theo, if you go sit down for me. Yes, you go and sit down that way for me. There we go. Okay, let's have some music then. Ready? Let's go.
He's the one who makes the birds sing. He's the one who makes your dreams so high.
Okay, Eve, is anyone you want to protect?
Yes.
You're going to protect. Okay, James, do you want to come and sit down for me? Come sit here for me. Well done, good playing. Okay, ready? Let's go. Let's start.
One who hung the stars, one by one.
Stop. Freeze. Okay, Evie, who are you going to save?
I've already saved them.
You save. We'll save one more. Can you save them again? Who are you going to save? You protect Asa. Right, Caleb, you come and sit down then. Okay, Asa, one more. Ready? One more. Ready? Last one then. Let's go. Last one.
He's the one who makes me smile. Day by day, Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Yeah.
And I think Asa and Evie are our winners. Yay! Well done. Thank you so much. Well done, everyone. Okay, and that was a fun game. You can play at home, so check it out, play it, let me know what you think. Bye bye.
Cool, so today we're going to make some turtles. You're going to need a piece of funky foam. If you don't have any funky foam, don't worry, but the foam will help your turtle to float. If you don't make it with foam, you make it with card instead, that's fine, but it won't float. So piece of funky foam, any colour, doesn't matter. My turtle's going to be purple, that's fine. A plastic bottle, preferably quite a big one, but the smaller the bottle, the smaller your turtle will be. Then you'll also need some wool and a needle, a fat needle I've got on mine, a button, if you've got one, a glue gun, again, only if you've got one, don't worry if you haven't, any other glue is fine, some scissors and a pencil. Okay, so the first thing we do is cut off the bottom of our bottle. I've already done this, I've cheated a little bit because it saves me some time. So you cut the bottom of your bottle and you only need that bit. We don't need the other bit. So once you've got this bit, you put it on your foam and you're going to draw a circle around the bottom of your bottle to get the size that you need for your turtle. And then once you've got the size right, you can add a head, 4 legs and a tail, and hopefully you'll get something that looks roughly like this. And then once you've got your shape and you're happy with it, then you need to cut it out. So here goes. And now I have one cut out turtle. And he looks like this. His legs are a bit wonky because I'm not very good at making things even, but that's fine. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bottle lid and I'm going to glue it in place on my turtle body. And this is going to be his shell. I'm just going to use my glue gun because it's quicker and easier and it sets faster. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on. I'm not going to go all the way round. And stick that down. And hopefully that's nice and stuck. Perfect. So next you're going to need your wool, and mine's already threaded. I've got a nice fat needle and it's not sharp, so that's nice and safe. You might need to get some help to thread your needle though, because that's always really tricky. Even I had trouble with that one. And I'm just going to cut a long piece of wool like this. So I'm going to cut that with my scissors, making sure I don't cut my fingers. And then I have already started by making some teeny tiny little holes around my turtle shell. And what you're going to do is you're going to sew across your turtle shell. So it's going to go in between the big lumps. So I will show you. So we start at the bottom and pull the needle through and keep going. Leave a nice long bit at the end because you're going to need that to tie it off when you're finished. And we're going to thread it through the other side, making sure that the wool goes over the top of the turtle shell. Because this is not just decoration, it's also going to help hold the shell on to your turtle. And then you keep going until you run out of wool. Okay, so I've finished now and my wool's nearly run out, so that's what the top of my turtle looks like. It looks really cool, very happy with that. And then I'm just going to take the needle off of my wool and put it somewhere safe so I don't lose it. And I'm going to take the 2 ends of my wool and I'm just going to tie them together in a knot, which apparently I cannot do today. There we go. Okay, and now that's all nice and secure. I'm going to chop off the ends just to make it nice and neat and tidy. And then I'm going to flip him over, and in the top, just for a nice bit of decoration, I'm going to use this star, and I'm going to stick that right in the middle with my glue gun, hopefully. If you don't have a nice star bead like I've got here, you can use anything really. You could use a bit of paper that you've decorated, you could use all sorts of things. A bottle lid if you fancy. Okay, so here he is, he's finished, my turtle is done. You might want to put some eyes on yours. I'm not going to put any eyes on mine today, I'm just going to leave it as it is. If you were feeling really clever, you can put the memory verse on him somewhere. You could put it inside the shell so it's hidden. You could put it around the edge on his tummy. You could turn it over and put it on the other side. It's entirely up to you. Now, moment of truth. Let's see if he floats. Okay. Ready? Ta-da! And there he is, one floating turtle. So I'd love to see what you've made. Please send us some photos. You can either share them on the Facebook page or you can send them through to Sam's email. We'd love to see all the different turtles that get made this week. See you soon. Bye.
Every morning when I wake, I get ready, got my armor for the day. I get ready, this way, I know you're with me every step I take. Oh, this way, I know you're with me every step I take. I've got the sword of the spirit, the shield of faith, the belt of truth around my waist. When I feel the heat, you make me strong, never back down. I got my God suit on. Every battle that I face, I'll be ready when the arrows fly my way. Hold me steady, this way, I know you're with me every step I take. Oh, this way, I know you're with me every step I take. I've got the sword of the spirit, the shield of faith, the belt of truth around my waist. When I feel the heat, you make me strong, never back down. I got my God suit on. Your saving grace will guard my head. Your righteousness like a bulletproof vest. These good news shoes were made to run, never back down. I got my God suit on, never back down. I got my God suit on. Ten, nine, eight, seven, six. Got my hands in the air and the praise on my lips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Every battle I face, my God has won. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Got my hands in the air and the praise on my lips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Never back down. I got my God suit on. This way, I know you're with me every step I take. Oh, this way, I know you're with me every step I take. I got the sword of the spirit, the shield of faith, the belt of truth around my waist. When I feel the heat, you make me strong, never back down. I got my God suit on. Your saving grace will guard my head. Your righteousness like a bulletproof vest.
The very scary storm. Whoo! Howled the wind. Whoo! The little boat was right in the middle of the lake when the wind began to howl. Lake Galilee was so big it was like the sea. "It's a lovely day," Jesus had said to his special friends that morning. "Let's go across the lake." They had been so busy, they needed a day off. The sun was warm and the lake was still, so still that Jesus lay down in the boat and fell fast asleep. Then, all of a sudden, the wind began to howl. Whee! Whee! And the lake wasn't still anymore. It was full of big waves that tossed the little boat up and down. Big waves that came toppling over the sides. The boat began to sink. "Wake up! Wake up!" said Jesus' special friends. "Save us, we're sinking!" They were very scared. They had never seen such a storm. But Jesus was not a bit scared. "Gently, gently now," he said to the howling wind. "Look what you're doing." Lie down," he said to the waves. "You're upsetting the boat." And at once the wind stopped howling and the waves stopped tossing. All was quiet and still again. The friends looked at one another. None of them could have done that. How had Jesus done it? "Why were you all so frightened?" Jesus said. "When you know God is looking after you, trust him."
Thank you, Emily. Super good story. Did that storm sound really scary to you? Because it sounded scary to me. That wind, oh my, it sounded really loud, and the waves must have got really choppy because Lake Galilee was quite low down in a valley, and when wind comes down, it would have created big waves that would have been really, really scary. But did we see how Jesus was happy just to have a nap? He must have been quite tired, they'd been quite busy, and were having a day off. So Jesus was having a rest, and wasn't even woken up by the storm. But the disciples, and if I was on that boat, I think I'd have been the same as them, really, really scared, wanting the waves to stop, wanting to get off somehow, even though I couldn't because we're in the middle of the lake. So they woke up Jesus, and he thought they were being a bit silly, because they were able to see how Jesus, and how amazing and all the amazing things they'd already seen him do, he was then able to calm the waves and the wind. He was able to speak to those things, and they listened. I don't know about you, but if it's raining and I don't want it to rain, I will try and tell the rain to stop, and it doesn't listen. That's really annoying, isn't it? But Jesus is so amazing. He can talk to those things and they will listen, because he is King of Kings, Lord of Lords, all those wonderful names we know him to be. But he protected the disciples, didn't he? He looked after them, and he said to them, why were you scared? Are you not trusting in God? Because he will look after you, he will protect you. Sometimes adults will say that maybe they're going through a bit of a storm. Sometimes us adults will describe bad things or tough times as storms, not like a literal physical storm that sometimes we see with the thunder and lightning and all the rain that we get in England, but actually we describe it as a storm. And sometimes, when I've had storms or scary times, I sometimes forget that God is right there in it with me, protecting me, that he will protect me. Because that's what we as humans sometimes do. We'll forget how good God is to us. And when I was younger, I had a period of time where I couldn't stay away from home. I'd be invited to sleepovers, and I'd be scared to, because I knew I'd go there and I wouldn't be able to sleep. I'd wake up in the night with tummy aches and nothing would fix them. And it'd be places I've been to before, and friends that I know, and I knew the mummies and the daddies and the adults. But I wouldn't be able to sleep. It was a scary time. And in those moments, I would forget that God is protecting me. And it wasn't until I went to a place called Soul Survivor, a big camp where lots of Christians used to go to, and the Holy Spirit came and met with me and made me feel better, and took away all those tummy aches and anxious thoughts that were keeping me awake at night times, that God protected me in that moment when I allowed myself to trust him. And that's what you can do, kids. When things are bad, when school is tough, or lockdown's still a little bit boring at times, and we're sad that we can't see friends, and do all the things that we may be hoping to do. Maybe we can't go on our holidays away to a different country. Maybe that's feeling rubbish. But we know that God will protect you. Like the mummy sea turtles, digging that hole, putting their baby eggs in there and covering up so they won't be eaten by other predators around those areas. They will protect them. God does exactly the same for you. He looks after you. He protects you. And it's like we sung in one of the songs, that God suit that we can put on every day. We can remember the story of this big scary storm that Jesus was able to speak to, and we can remember about this God suit that we can put on every single day that helps protect us and be in a good place, to be great for God and for Jesus in all that we do. So remember this week that God will always protect you, because we're never going to be separated from his love. Well, thanks for listening, kids. I loved talking to you about that this morning. Maybe you can practice your big win noises this week and try and make your adults jump when you jump out and pretend to be a big storm. That'd be fun. But then remind them, if they did get scared, that God protects them too. Fantastic. I'm going to pray, and then that's it for Children's Church this week, and we will see you again next week. Dear Jesus, thank you for the fun we've had this morning, our craft and our story, with the games we've been able to play too. Thank you that you're a God who protects us. Thank you that you're a God who loves us, that we can't be separated from your love. Nothing's going to do that, ever, ever, ever. Bless the kids that are watching this morning. Be with them all week and help to remind them that you've protected them through all of the good and the bad. Help them to know that they can trust in you all the time, because you are good all the time. In Jesus' name, amen. Thanks, kids. See you soon. Bye-bye.